Is it raining at your place? Okay. So GlideAggregate is a server-side API. GlideAggregate is a server-side API which is used to do aggregations such as GlideAggregate is a server-side API which is used to do aggregations such as maximum, minimum, average, maximum, minimum, average. Okay, maximum, minimum, average, count, count. Okay, sum. Okay, and etc. So if you want to get the count, so in the table how many records are there? Count number. And if you want to get the maximum value, if you want to get the minimum value, if you want to get the average value, if you want to get the total value, so then you will use GlideAggregate API. GlideAggregate is a server-side API, guys. Okay. Okay. These aggregations, you can also do it using Glide Record as well. These aggregations, you can also do it using Glide Record Secure as well. Okay, these aggregations, you can do it using Glide Record. You can also do it using Glide Record Secure as well. Okay. Fine. These aggregations, you can do it using Glide Record Secure as well. But why do we need GlideAggregate here? Okay. It will directly get the counts, total sum, maximum, minimum values instead of doing calculations. So guys, if I want to get the total sum, if I want to get the total number of records that are there on the HR case table, U underscore HR underscore case table. In the HR case table, how many records are there? We will see 56 records. So I want to get the, okay, I want to get the total number. I want to get the count of the HR case record. Okay. Okay. Let me just give me a moment, guys. Is it better now? Is it better now, guys? Hmm? Okay. So in the HR case table, how many records are there in total? Total 56 records are there in the HR case table. Okay. So in the HR case table, there are actually 56 records in total. Okay. That is fine. So if I want to get the total number of records using Glide Record also, I can get it. Using GlideAggregate also, I can get it. So where ZR, so in the HR case table, right? U underscore HR underscore case, no condition. If gr dot next, gs dot print, So you have to use a method called gr.getRowCount method. GetRowCount method. So this will give you how many records in the table. In the HR case table, how many records are there? 56 records are there. You can see here. So there are total 56 records in the HR case table. Okay, there are 56 records in the HR case table. Okay. In the incident table, how many records are there? We will actually read. So in the incident table, how many records are there? There are actually 147 records that are there in the incident table. In the problem table, how many records are there? We will see. In the problem table, how many records are there? We will see. 30 records are there. In the change request table, how many records are there? We will see. 108 records are there in the change request table. So you can use glide record to do the count, to get the count. So using glide aggregate also you can get the count, guys. So I am going to write glide aggregate now, where GA is equal to new glide aggregate U underscore HR underscore case GA dot. You have to use add aggregate, count GA dot query while GA dot next GS dot print get aggregate count. Okay. You can see we are able to get the count using glide aggregate as well or not. So in the glide aggregate, you have to use two methods, add aggregate and get aggregate. Okay. You getting my point, guys? Using glide record also you can get the count. Using glide aggregate also you can get the count. Okay. Is that clear? But using glide aggregate is a good practice to get the count. To get the count, glide aggregate is a good practice. Okay, glide aggregate is a good practice, guys. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So in the incident table, how many records are there? I want to get the count. So there are actually 147 records. In the problem table, how many records are there? I want to get the count. There are actually 30 records. In the change request table, how many records are there? I want to get the count. 108 records are there. Okay. Fine. So In every table, how many records are there? You can get the count using GlideAggregate. You can also get it using Glide record as well, but GlideAggregate is a good practice. Okay. So let me just go to the incident table. In the incident table, with the software category, how many records are there? With the software category, how many records are there? 22 records are there. So in the incident table, with the software category, ga.add query. You have to use add query here. Again, add query category, comma, software. So in the software category, how many records are there? 22 records. You can see how many records are there with the software category? 22 records are there. Okay. In the each category, how many records are there? I want to get the count. So in the database category, there are 2 records. The hardware category, there are 6 records. The inquiry category, there are actually 110 records. In the network category, there are 4 records. In the software category, there are actually 22 records. Okay. So in the each category, how many records are there? I want to get the count. Then what I will do here, you will remove this condition. Okay. So after removing this condition, after the count, you will keep the category field name. Okay. So GA dot get value. Okay. Here also you have to keep category. You can see in the database, there are 2 records. In the hardware category, there are 6 records. In the inquiry category, there are 110 records. In the network category, there are 4 records. In the software category, there are 22 records. In the each category, how many records are there means after the count, you have to mention the field name. In the each category, how many records are there? If you want to get the count, you have to mention the field name after the count. You got the point or not? Okay. In the each state, how many incidents are there? We'll go and see in the each state. The each state, how many incidents are there? I want to get the count. In the new state, there are 65 records. In the in progress state, there are 67 records. In the on hold state, there is 1 record. In the closed state, there are 14 records. So in the each state, I am using state field here. So it will give the choice value, right? I don't want choice value. I want a display value. You can see in the new state, there are 65 records. The in progress state, there are 67 records. The on hold state, there is 1 record. In the closed state, there are 14 records. Getting my point? The each priority, how many records are there? I want to get the count. In the each priority, how many records are there? I want to get the count. So there are actually 19 records in the critical phase. In the high priority, there are 2 records. In the moderate, there are 6 records. In the low priority, there are 2 records. In the planning, there are actually 118 records. Okay. So likewise, you can also get the duplicate numbers as well. For each number, how many records are there? For each number, how many records are there? For every number, there should be only one record, guys. For every number, there should be only one record. If a number has more than one record, that's a duplicate record. So using GlideAggregate, you can also identify the duplicate number. Okay. So every number has only one record. Any number has 2 records. Now what I am doing is this particular number I am copying it. Okay. So this particular number has 2 records. One number has 2 records. This particular number has 2 records. So this is a duplicate incident. So this number has duplicate records. So likewise, you can identify the duplicate records. What you can do is just commenting out if greater than 1, gs.print ga.getValue number. So that greater than 1 means you will identify the duplicate numbers. You can see this number has duplicate records. 2 numbers. Huh? You will see this particular number has duplicate records. Yeah, this particular number has duplicate records. So there are two incident which has duplicate records. You understand my point? Likewise, using GlideAggregate, you can identify the duplicate records as well. Hope you guys are clear, guys. Okay. So now, now we will understand how to get the. Let me just create one particular field on the form. The incident field, the incident table. I am actually creating one field, guys. The incident table. I am actually creating one field. Click configure. I am creating a new field called total price. total price. It is actually a integer type field I am creating. It is an integer type field. I have created a field called total price field, the default view. The default view, I am creating a field called total price. Okay, I am going to add it on the list as well. Total price. So here I am giving the price as 1000. Okay, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000, 6000. Okay, here I am giving as 7000, and here I am giving as 8000. So here among these values, what is the minimum value? What is the maximum value? So among these, what is the minimum value and what is the maximum value? Hmm? Everyone, I want you to answer. Minimum is 10, minimum is 1000, maximum is 8000. So I want to get the maximum value out of this total price. So in the incident table, okay, in the total price field, u underscore total underscore price field, in the total price field, I want to get the maximum value. Max, you have to use max here. Okay. So I want to get the maximum value. Guys, here by default, glide aggregate will group by. So group by in the sense it will do like this one. By default, glide aggregate will group by. So instead of grouping by, what I am doing is I am writing a line called ga dot set group false. ga dot set group false. You can see it is giving the maximum value. So you have to write this line to stop the group by. By default, glide aggregate will group by. To stop that, you have to use ga dot set group false. So it is giving the maximum value. If you want to get the minimum value, you will use min here. Okay, you will use minimum value here. Okay, getting my point. So group by means, guys, here by default, group by means this one. Will group by like this one. So if I don't write this line, if I don't write this line, now you can see how exactly it will give the output. So it is showing like this one. Okay, that is why I'm actually grouping by. See, group by means like this one. This is grouping by. Okay, if I don't group by, so if I stop grouping by, so it is giving 1,000. Okay, so guys, you can also get the minimum value using glide record as well. You can also get the maximum value using glide record as well. Using glide record, you can get a maximum value as well. Okay, so how can I get the minimum value using glide record? Okay, how can I get the minimum value using glide record? Okay, then what I will do? Incident, incident. Um, okay, where total price is not equal to empty, u underscore total underscore price not equal to comma empty while. So what am I doing is I am taking all the records amount like 8,007 all these values into one particular array where ERR is equal to ERR dot push. Okay, parse int gr dot get value total price. Okay, so let me just print this one gs dot print ERR. You can see I have taken all the values in an array. So from this array, you have to identify the minimum value. So you can just find the logic here. You can just write a logic. You can just get the JavaScript logic. So they are using math won't work in service now. We'll take this particular script out. We'll write it here. ARR of 0, smallest we are taking. gs.print you can just execute this one. You can see 1000 is the minimum value. So what I have taken, what I have done, I have taken an array. In that array, I have taken all the values. Okay. I have taken an array. In that array, I have taken all the values. So out of them, I'm actually identifying the smallest value. Out of them, I'm actually identifying the smallest value. Okay. So array index 0. So array index 0, I'm taking in this particular variable. Okay. Then what I'm doing, I'm starting the iteration from the first index. Okay. If the first index is less than smallest. Okay. So if the first index is less than, if the first index is less than 0 index, then you are taking first index as a smallest. Okay. You are taking first index as a smallest index. So then it will come to second index. Second index is less than first index. Second index is less than first index. Then it is taking second index as smallest. Then it is coming to third index. Third index is less than second index. Then it is taking third index as smallest. So likewise, finally it is giving smallest value, that is actually 1000. So using glide record also you can get the smallest value or not. So which one is best, guys? Is glide aggregate best or glide record best? Hmm? Everyone, which one is best? Glide aggregate. So if I want to get the if I want to get the greatest value, okay. If I want to get the greatest value, okay, 8000 is the greatest value. So you are able to get the minimum value, maximum value using glide record also, right? You are able to get the minimum value, maximum value using glide record also, right? So what am I doing? I am taking all the values in an array. I am taking all the values in an array. In the array, what is the smallest value? That logic I am writing here. This logic. So this logic will identify the greatest value. The previous logic will help you to identify the smallest value. Okay, the previous logic will help you to identify the smallest value. This logic will help you to identify the greatest value. So we are able to understand how to get the maximum value and minimum value using glide record also, right? So you can get the maximum value, minimum value using glide aggregate also. Okay. So where GA is equal to new glide aggregate incident GA dot add aggregate count, not count, maximum u underscore total price ga dot query while ga dot false. You can see maximum value we are able to get. If you want to get the minimum value, you can get the minimum value as well. Okay. So I want to get the sum. Then you can use sum here. So it will actually count the total count. Okay. So here 3,000, 6,000, 10,000, 15,000, 21,000, 28,000, 36,000. So total sum it will give 36,000 guys. It is giving the total as 36,000 or not. You can also get the sum. You can also get the sum using glide record also. Using glide record also you can get the sum. But glide aggregate will actually make our life easy. You can get also average value as well. You can also get the average value also. So average value is actually 4,500 guys. Average value is 4,500. Likewise, you can get the average value as well using, you can also get the average value using glide record as well. What you will do? So you will write a glide record, you will store every value in the array. From that array, you can actually get the aggregate. So here you can just find average value in a array using JavaScript. Okay. Then just open this one. So you can write this particular logic. Guys, every logic you will find it in the Google, guys. So every logic you will find it in the Google. Okay, you can see here. You can write this particular logic. Hmm? So using glide record also, you can get the average average value of the particular field in the table. Okay. So we'll now see the documentation about glide aggregate, guys. Glide aggregate enables creating database aggregation queries. The glide aggregate class is actually an extension of glide record. Guys, remember glide record secure and glide aggregate are extension of glide record. Okay. So glide record is a parent class. Glide record secure, glide aggregate are child classes. glide aggregate are child classes of glide record. So glide record is actually a parent class, guys. Remember, glide record secure and glide aggregate are glide record secure and glide aggregate are child classes of extension of glide record. Okay, and provides database aggregation such as average, count, group contact, contact distinct, maximum, minimum, standard deviation, some queries. Okay, you understand my point? It's in another class of glide record. What is this group concatenating is doing? Concatenates all non-null values of group in ascending order, joins with them, comma, returns the result as a string. Concatenates all non-null values. All non-null values. Count. Okay, concatenates all non-null values of the group in ascending order, joins comma. Concatenate all non-null values of the group in an ascending order, removes duplicates, distinct. Okay, distinct. Joins them comma separated, return result as a string. Okay, so you understand my point. You understand, right, what exactly this group concat is doing? Okay, we go here. Group distinct. Group concat. Group concat. So it will concatenate it as a string comma separate. It is concatenating as a string, guys. This is a string. Okay. Now what I am doing is for one more value, I am actually giving 1000 here. So there are actually two 1000s. There are actually two 1000s. Okay. So now it is giving two 1000s here. Fine. So group concat underscore distinct. We will use distinct here. So these methods are recently added, guys. Okay. These aggregations are recently added. So here you won't be able to see two 1000s. You will be able to see one 1000. It will remove the duplicates. So what is it telling? Concatenates all non-null values of the group in ascending order and joins them with a comma and returns the result as a string. So this one also does the same thing, but it will remove the duplicates. It will remove the duplicates. Joins them with a comma and return the result as a string. Okay. Yes. In general, we have which aggregate. So we will be using maximum count sum, guys. Count sum. Okay. So hope everybody is clear with the glide aggregate concept, guys. Guys, answer me. Yes, please. Hmm? So any questions from anyone, guys? I have unmuted everyone. MC, Basuras, Pondaya. Any questions from anyone?
Uday, basically this set group false condition we kept, right? So this is like overall that field level we can say, right?
Hmm?
This set group, like third line we are keeping set group false, right? So means it will consider entire field level, right? Even
Yes.
even if some subcat like in the field like there are different categories also, but it will consider overall.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Default means default it will be true, right? Then in that case,
Yes. By default, it is true.
true. Okay, okay.
Okay. So how was your Independence Day celebrations, MC?